Good morning, Lasham. Another bright day in paradise. Okay, yesterday was a contest day in both classes. And before we go any further, I'd like to say thank you to our sponsors for this competition and that prize giving this afternoon. You'll get to see some of the nice products. We've got Vertigo covers, Applegarth hampers. We've got the hampers here and all the perishable bits already in our fridge. We need to get those today, otherwise we will eat them. And Vertigo Aviation Dealing, who are giving out some nice packs to help you polish your gliders. Church notices, Pammy, who's been collecting the Ukraine, would like to say a big thank you. We so far collected £475 plus €40. And if anybody wants to carry on giving, I'm sure they'd be very grateful. I'm not aware of any other issues going on. If you have any questions throughout the morning brief, please use the chat function or text your questions to comps to 07436 408 791. Okay, results. It was a contest day in both classes. Preliminary result for 18-meter class. Third place, Al Nunn, 109.86 kilometers an hour. Al, don't forget, you can come and collect your wine from control. Gary Dinsmore, 110.01 kilometers an hour. And first was Pete Harvey, 111.12. Pete and Gary, don't forget to take your wine as well. We've got no interviews today, and we'll carry on. Third place in the 20-meter class, Gary Coppen, 108.54. Good showing. Steve Jones, 110.91. And in first place, by quite a margin, Matt Cook, 114.18 kilometers an hour. Again, come and collect your wines. Right, weather, over to Colin.
Okay, over to me. We're just going to quick changeover of sharing screens. And we should be up and running. So, fingers crossed it won't freeze up like it did yesterday. Chart for today, we've been watching the progress of all of these fronts, where they're going. It's a bit random just at the moment. This one, I think, has some rain that will be trailing across the channel. And this one I just think is a very small feature with a bit of rain on it to the north. That's there at the moment is beginning to peter out. You'll see on some of the other charts and information that we have got sort of patches of rain and bits of cloud that really will dictate the day where we're going to try and get a task out of it. Pressure's dropped a couple of millibars from yesterday. It's still reasonably high. There was a little low pressure on the chart here yesterday that was developing over France, but it seems to have fizzled out. So everything is on the change. You can see what's lining up for the next couple of days, though. So it's not looking great, unfortunately, for the comps that are running next week. It'll be weather windows rather than sort of good days. TAF's just a quick cross check of what they're showing. Light southwesterly, that's changed a little bit to 57 knots, slight increase from what they were forecasting this morning, and a little bit more westerly, which is good news. Scattered at 4.5. A lot of places are giving somewhere between 4 and 4.5 scattered, which is good. There is a prob 30 in there, or a tempo rain. And I think that's the sort of thing you'd be unlucky to see it. And that tends to be the case for Gatwick as well, but less so further north. I think there will be the possibility of rain drifting down the channel, perhaps clipping the south coast. Upper winds at flying heights, lighter than yesterday, I think, more like about 10 knots from 240, 250 degrees at flying heights. And the sat pic, I haven't updated that from this morning. I'll just show you that this sort of Wadja sort of cloud and rain here been fizzling out as we've gone on in the last hour or so. It really has fizzled out, and it's just at the moment mid-level cloud that's cutting out the sun a little bit. There were the showers that they just disappeared. This is the stuff we've been monitoring we think is just going to track down the channel, might clip the Isle of Wight, Bournemouth with the odd shower, but I think we'll be all right. And I think it's drying out quite nicely in this area here where we're tasked today. Temperature-wise, similar to yesterday, I think. BBC are suggesting 21. I think more like about 22, possibly 23 degrees later on. So similar sort of picture to yesterday. Dew points, well, currently they're about 11s and 12s. So I think with dew points will be down. Fingers crossed around about 9 to 10. So pretty good temperature split. And then playing around with the soundings, it looks quite nice. This is about 1 o'clock. So by that time, 22 degrees, you should have 4,000 feet plus with dew points at 10 or slightly less, cloud tops about 6 with, yeah, a risk of some spread out there, certainly. And they're showing the lines a little bit closer together in the mid-levels here. So I think there will be some mid-level cloud drifting about as it goes on. As you move that forward to 4 o'clock, it all goes a bit wobbly, 4, 5 o'clock. And that's shown up on other data sources as well. I haven't looked too far north because I think that's, you know, outside our task area. Top Meteo showing the cloud breaking up and probably turning to cumulus. I would have thought mid-morning, hopefully we'll be looking at sort of cumulus by 11:30 at a reasonable height, and then play it forward to about 2 o'clock. Q round here with chances of spread out and a little bit of mid-level cloud here and there. But it should still be soarable under that. I'm fairly confident. But it all goes a bit wobbly around the sort of 4 or 5 o'clock mark and just turns into spread out and no soaring. Thermal heights, if they do hold true, then by midday, you're looking at 3,000 feet plus. And then in the afternoon, 1,600 meters, so up above 4,000 feet above Lasham, 4.5 above sea level. With those sort of temperatures, that's about 2 o'clock. And then 4 o'clock, similar sort of heights. They're saying 1,700 meters in and around here. I think that might be a tad optimistic. Sky sight's a little bit less than that. But it all sort of falls apart after about 4 or 5 o'clock. And the predicted distance they're going with, and you've all probably seen that's because most people have got a subscription to either SkySight or Top Meteo. Best in the area south of Oxford, really, and out towards Bristol area. There's a cross check with SkySight to make sure it's saying the same sort of thing. Heights of thermals by sort of 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1,500 meters locally around us, and out to the northwest looks the best area as well. And thermal strengths, 2 meters a second around here, and same up to the north. And it will vary. I think it will be perhaps sort of 2 to 3 knots climbs. And the only other thing that they are showing is a level of overdevelopment here, which they're saying is around about 20-25%. So it is showing up as sort of some overdevelopment in places. Okay, we're optimistic. Hopefully, right. Go back to this one. There we go.
Good stuff. Thanks, Colin. Right, today's tasks. The philosophy, as it has been all week, is we want to race. We don't want to race where half you get back, half you land out. And we're all, you know, to give you some idea, there's sort of 6 of us working on task planning in here this morning from about 7 onwards. Looking at all the variables, and you know, at that point in time, we thought there was a good chance actually we were going to get some rain here about now-ish actually, and we didn't quite believe the forecast, which were all saying it wasn't going to get here, and they were right, we were wrong. So hopefully SkySight and Top Meteo are fairly accurate now. So we've set you on the minimums initially, and if we think the weather be slightly better than currently forecast, we will fall forward before launch. So 18-metre class task A, the one we currently think is most likely task, Candover Church, Wantage Northwest, Pangbourne, Weaver Hill North, not the gliding club. Remember, if you land at the gliding club, you cannot air it out. It's on Lasham ARP. All finishes today will be 300 feet. We've got much lighter winds. So 300 foot above airfield level finishes. 80-metre class task B, if we fall forward, Candover Church, Carn West, Didcot Railway Bridge, Ramsbury, Lasham ARP. Again, 300 feet above airfield level. And 80-metre class C, if it really does, before we launch, you think, wow, it's getting better and better, which is unlikely, but we'll have it in there anyway. Candover Church, Cliff Pickard, which I never heard that one, Yattendon, Melksham, Pusey, Lasham ARP. Again, 300 foot finish. Okay, 20-metre class. Now today you're on the beginning at the front of the grid, and I think Andy Holmes, your horse conquers today. Please can you be our sniffer? We, Nigel, who's been our sniffer all week, is not keen on today for whatever reason. So the good news about you is it only takes about 8-9 minutes to launch your class, and then we can probably start you about 20-25 minutes later. So you'll be a bit of a head start, although technically you're a fraction slower than the 18s. So your minimum task initially is Ellerfields Church, Wantage Northwest, Pangbourne, Weaver Hill North, again, not the gliding club, and Lasham ARP, again, 300 foot finish. Task B, Ellerfields Church, Carn West, Didcot Railway Bridge, Ramsbury, Lasham ARP, 300 foot finish. And your big task, if it does the unexpected, and the reality is, if we were going to fall forward a task or class, because you're launching so much earlier, and you'll be starting at least half an hour ahead of the 18s, the 20-metre class is the class more likely to fall forward than the 18s. Your biggest task is Ellerfields Church, Cliff Pickard again, Yattendon, Melksham, Pusey, and Lasham ARP. Airspace, over to Colin.
Thank you and good morning. So we'll go straight into this. Oh, that didn't show very well. It should do. Version 11 for the airspace file. We didn't quite get a dozen of them out there, but we did get to 11. There are editorial changes, plus the Cyward VZ, not relevant today, is removed, as is the Stanhouse VZ, also removed. That was the reason for change. The ODM ATZ is a penalty zone. It has been all week. You should be very much aware of that by now. Popham Airfield, today they are closed to all traffic. They're model flying to 1,600 feet AMSL, that's 1,000 feet above ground at Popham. They do not want anyone to land there today, please. Kevor, not a penalty zone, well, they're gliding there. You're getting reasonably close to it if we get to the big tasks. Active parasite, parachuting sites, parasites, yes, that'll do. DZs, and they're scored as penalty zones. Boscombe Downs, Salisbury, which is the old Sarum one, Chalgrove, West on the Green. Really not relevant to the tractional flying, but we're just telling you about it. Compton box is closed. I don't think we're going to get the cloud base to warrant opening it, and you're not really going very close to it, except if you get a larger task. There are the task notes, and there is a reminder in there. The finish ring altitude is 300 foot above ground, above aerodrome level, 918 feet AMSL. Juniors. Junior Nationals are at Kevor. Bit of a scrappy picture this morning, best we could get in the time we were setting the actual briefing. But that is their projected task at the moment. So very much in the same area as you. They are juniors. We need to keep an eye out for them. They have been briefed about your task. I think anything on the airspace questions? No? Okay, moving on.
Finishing, yeah, usual finishing frequency 131030, and give us a call 10k out. So the finish line team can mark that you're on the way in, and we know you're coming. Min finishing height, yeah, 300 feet QFE. Thought the wind's fairly light. You're landing with a small tailwind. We're back to what we have always set in those sort of conditions. I mean, it gives you plenty of options to go straight in ahead. If you are way high and want to go around and land 27, that's absolutely fine, but it's 27 north side grass, because finishing will be on the runway as described here. Finishing coming in from the northwest, you're landing either on the hard or the grass to the south side of 09. And remember, it's quite rough down here. If you do suddenly find yourself at 600 feet and you think, oh, I'm going to take a different direction, circuit round to the north, you can land grass north side, but this is 27 landing direction, not 09. We had that during the regionals where suddenly people started landing grass north side 09 with people still landing 27. It was quite alarming. So yeah, grass north side is 27 landing. Club operations, we will be active on the north side. We're already flying. Parking out, well, it's the end of the comp, guys. Don't care where you park your glide. You're probably going to be de-rigging it. And hopefully you'll have a task and come back. Okay, scoring, usual thing, submit your trace within 1 hour. First launch, not before 11:15. We've just left that in from yesterday, get everybody sort of ready, but I think once we think we can get you away, we will. Last launch 1800 hours. Prize giving tonight to be confirmed, I guess.
Yeah.
And we'll leave the chat open for 5 minutes just to see if there's anything
Someone's asked a question regarding the frequency at memory. We may possibly have an incorrect frequency on the task sheet. The best updated frequency for memory I have, unless anyone who operates out of there could text me, is 120.375. That's 120.375. Anyone knows better, please either can use the chat function or send us a text. Thank you.
Okay, we've had no questions, I'm aware of. So thank you for watching this. And this is our one question just come in.
Your memory frequency is correct. Don't expect an answer. Okay, fine. Broadcast your intentions.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for that. So thanks for persevering with the briefings, the last one for the day. And if something very unexpected happens, and we'll see you at prize giving this evening. Have a good day.